Okay, welcome back to TishaTalkz. This is Tisha Mack, and I have a guest with me for today's episode. I'm really excited about it because we're going to be getting to the nitty gritty of some things that, mean a lot to me. So, of course, I had to invite one of my listeners who I'm happy is here with me. I call him Jose Cuervo, but I'll let him introduce himself.
Hi, my name is Jose Guerrero. Uh, I'm about 24 years old. I met Tisha at work, and yeah, ever since then we both been talking shit to each other.
Since day one, yes, yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, question, why did you mention your age? Are you trying to find a girlfriend on here?
Uh, nah, not right now. Not right
Okay,
now.
okay. Well, I'll ask you some more details about that later.
All right.
But so me and you talked
Mm-hmm.
a lot of shit towards each other, and as people can see, I'm black and you
Mm-hmm.
are
Mexican.
Mexican. Okay, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we both are from the Bay Area, which, as you know, is kind of like a mixing pot of some sorts. So one of the
Okay,
topics that we wanted to
actually,
go ahead.
my bad. Before, let me just correct you real quick. Technically speaking, I am from the Bay, but technically speaking, I'm not as well because when I was born in Hayward. But when my parents split, I ended up living with my dad in Modesto. So most of my childhood was in Modesto. And then it wasn't until like 5 years ago I moved back to the Bay Area. Five,
You
six
know,
years ago.
it's crazy. I think I told you this already, but I can
Mm-hmm.
kind of relate because my parents got married and divorced
Mm-hmm.
3 times. So I was back and forth as
Yeah.
well. My dad lived in Tracy.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So when they got
Mhm.
married the second time, that's where we lived. So I kind of had a
Okay.
childhood in both areas, back and forth, Bay Area,
Yeah.
Tracy, that sort of thing. Okay, okay. See how we just did that there?
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Yeah.
So, difference between black and brown culture. Did you want to step, dip a toe in that one, or should I just dive in?
I'll let you dive in into the black
Okay, that's
culture
what I.
and then I'll tell you about Mexican culture later.
Okay, so I'll just talk on my culture. I guess you talk on yours.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, damn, that's no fun. But all right. So I mean, but I feel like as a culture, we're not too different. We're both in the
Mm-hmm.
millennial squad somewhat,
Mm-hmm.
and just the Bay Area, I feel like we just have a different vibe. Like we know how to get along with each other to an extent. We,
Mm-hmm.
we all know what type of areas is not necessarily for a certain race, but we all kind of have our own thing. In Oakland we have Chinatown, and then of course when you go down to Fruitvale, that's where your folks be.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you go a little bit deeper to downtown Oakland, you kind of get a little bit of white, you get a little bit of the black, Mexican, white, all that type of stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely a mixture of us. But I want to say, as far as black culture, we are very inviting. I remember
Mm-hmm.
when sideshows were kind of like our thing. Now every race is doing it, at least in my opinion.
Now that is very true. That is
Yes.
very true.
So the sideshows, I grew up going to like the flea market, and that's
Mm-hmm.
always kind of been, I won't really, it's not a bad thing, but it's been,
Mm-hmm.
mostly Mexican dominated,
Yeah,
which
that's
is
very true.
fine. So to
I mean,
me,
we
I just
gotta
feel like,
hustle.
exactly, and y'all
Mm-hmm.
do. You guys are hard, well, some of you are hard workers. Yeah, I work with you,
Yeah.
Jose, I know. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you want to say about Mexican culture? I know you're very proud of this.
Well, yeah, I'm very proud to be Mexican. Don't get me wrong. I love my culture. Um, I just the way I look at it, I feel like Mexicans that are born here, like me, or they, I feel like they like to be into other people's cultures, which is pretty cool. I ain't gonna lie, that's not a
Hmm.
bad thing. But like at first, they try to
It's
try
not.
like other people's cultures, and then they'll jump back to our own culture as well. Cause like I mean, not gonna lie, I feel like a lot of Mexicans here in the Bay Area, they love the black culture. So I feel
Hmm.
like they'll dump in and dive into the black culture, like, and then, but they'll also. I'm not saying they try to be black, but
No,
but I'll say that like they try to,
there's
I'm gonna say,
similarities.
yeah, have similarities with it.
Hmm.
But then, uh, like for instance, for me, I I don't feel like I was like that. Maybe when I was younger, but I'm very into my Mexican culture. Like I prefer, like when it comes to music, I prefer Mexican music over any other type of music.
Oh,
And I
I
feel
know.
like, I feel like
Y-
our culture is very more traditional in the way of like how things are in our houses and all that.
Okay.
And
Well,
but
well, not to cut you off, but like, there are things that the Mexican culture has that, hell, I speak for myself, that I love. Like, I fucks heavy with the ceviche. I love ceviche. That's
yeah.
one of my favorite dishes in all mankind.
Mm-hmm,
And I fucks with the elote heavy. And
mm-hmm,
whenever you go to a concert or something, the Mexican ladies, they be outside with they bacon wrapped hot dogs. So,
mm-hmm.
yep, shit.
I mean,
And
yeah,
and
all of us
hello,
love our food.
Selena's.
Yeah,
Gotta love
all of us love our
Selena's.
food and all that. But I feel like now the way
Hmm.
like how Mexican kids are now, I feel like it's kind of like changing over back into like more of them want to prove that they're Mexican. Because I don't know if you know this or
More
not,
to
but
prove
like
that they're what?
they want to prove that that they're actually Mexican. But because there's
Okay.
like this big there's like this big, I would say, controversy between actual Mexicans from Mexico and Mexicans from here, which is like Mexicans from Mexico will
Oh, I
tell
didn't know
us we're
that.
not actually Mexican. We're from the
Ooh.
U.S. and we're American, and that's how it should be, right?
That's how it
But
should
like
be. So, like, are they admitting that they're jealous or?
I think so.
Oh, okay. Because that kind of reminds me how, like, when. Go ahead.
When what?
No, I was
No,
saying, like, that kind of reminds me.
no.
I was
I was
talking to
about to
my
tell
friend
you.
earlier.
Hmm.
Go ahead, Jose. Go ahead.
No, 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 no. Say your piece. Say your piece.
Okay, I was saying that I was talking to my friend earlier, Jasmine,
Hmm.
and I was telling her, that I had a friend at work who, made it be known that he wasn't Mexican, he's El Salvadorian, and he got really kind of upset about that. And
Oh,
I was like, well, what's the difference really? Like, I tried to like ask her. I was like, is that similar to how like say, me an African American born in America would meet, say, someone coming from Kenya or something, they tell me, "Oh, you're not really African." Like,
yeah. That no, that is exactly the same way it is.
oh, it's the same.
Well, for instance, like to my point of saying like Mexicans from Mexico would tell us that we're not actually Mexican.
Oh,
That's like a good example of it. But like for instance, your friend
mm-hmm.
who's Salvadorian, yeah, Salvadorians do not like being called Mexicans.
I learned. I
Yeah, they
learned.
do not. They find that as a great disrespect because, well, think about it like this: Salvadorians are very prideful people. They love their
Okay.
culture as well. Don't get me wrong; their culture is amazing. I actually love their culture. Um, I think their culture is great. Their country right now is actually like improving like tenfold with their president they just reelected again. But yeah,
Okay. Look at you.
but like what I would say is like the way you call them a Mexican, your Salvadorian friend is like if you called I'll say like a Chinese person Japanese.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll find that like very disrespectful. But then again, I don't.
Yeah. So what I was
Uh,
trying to say was, I understand that there's a difference, but to
mhm,
somebody who's not, you could say of their culture, it
mhm.
looks the same, but it's not.
Yeah.
So
Well, I
I can
mean,
understand that.
in your defense, I kind of don't expect you to tell the difference between a Mexican and Salvadorian.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could tell I know how to tell the difference, but that's because I've been around like both cultures quite a
Okay.
bit. So,
Mm-hmm.
mhm.
Again, that's like with the Tongan and Samoan. Like, there's a
Yeah,
difference, but
yeah, there's a difference. I mean, I wouldn't be
it-
able to tell. That's why every time I go up to a Polynesian person, I'm asking them, "Are you Tongan or Samoan?" And then they'll tell me, and then I'll just
okay.
roll with that.
See, you're interesting. You like to know from the beginning. I just assume and then get the
Nah,
feelings.
nah. I'll just ask from the beginning, like, hey, I'm not trying. I'll just be like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful or nothing, but like, let me know what you are before I say something that'd be disrespectful.
Exactly. That's where we
Mhm.
differ. I'm a little bit more on the
Mhm.
defensive side.
Mhm.
Don't agree. That's kind of rude, but okay.
I know it's rude, but like, I could definitely see you like just sitting there and assuming everybody Mexican.
I mean, I want to know who has the ceviche. I want to know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
That's
so
true.
that kind of stems me to the direction of, it being a culture thing or is it a
Mm.
race thing? All races, but we're sticking to Mexican and black, no, I'm sorry, brown and
Mhm.
black culture. Um, the N word, it's very popular here amongst all the races, Asian, white, Mexican. Everybody wants to say it, and
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I do say it,
sure.
but like that's only around like the friends I know, or like I'll say like around my like around black friends that I'm cool with, and
Yeah,
they
some
hear
black
me
people
say that.
can like just let you go ahead with it. I
Mhm.
used to. It's funny. It's not funny, but I know my friends say it. Like, say if it was like a song or something, but it's
Mhm.
like around me, just don't say it.
Oh yeah.
Were you there when I got into it with that one guy? Because he kept saying it.
Talking about the guy on
Don't
top
say
side,
his name. Don't say his name.
the one time on top side.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I wasn't there exactly. I was down on the bottom, like
But you
driving.
okay? But you
But
pretty much.
I knew
I
what
don't
happened.
see. Go ahead.
I knew what happened. Like he just said the N word so many times, and you just got fed up with it, and then you just like cussed his ass out.
Had to.
Mhm.
But it was more so like, here's the thing. I get that people say it. At this point in
Mhm.
time, I can't keep checking everybody. I think I just learned that in
Mhm.
2022. But it's how you use it now for me. Like, okay,
Oh
I
yeah,
get it now.
that's.
Everybody has made it their thing. When you
Mhm.
say that's my nigga, that's your friend. I get it.
Mhm.
But when you use it at the end of every sentence like a period,
Yeah.
when you use it in the middle, in the beginning like a comma, you're just overdoing it and you
Yeah.
sound ignorant.
Yeah.
So that's where it got with me, with him at least.
Yeah. Friggin' when I was in high school, right? Well,
Mhm.
I had this one friend whose name was X. Um, he the way we saw each other is I would look at him and like I would say well I ain't trying to get you canceled or anything, so I'm not gonna say the word, but I'd be like that's my N word,
Mhm.
and then when he would look at me, he'd be like, oh, that's my mojado, or that's my bean or my wetback, and that I
Ooh.
mean like that's the way. I mean, but like
But it was
I
a
knew.
term of endearment
Yeah,
for
it
you and
was a
him.
term of endearment for me. I mean, like, it's not like as long as you ain't using it in a hateful speech or a hateful or anything hateful in it, I feel like it should
Mhm.
be okay. I
Okay,
feel
I
like
can
it should
agree
be
with
okay.
that.
Hmm.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I get called that. I mean, well, a few times I've been called that like quite a bit by my friends. Which, to be honest, I don't really mind it because it's like the way I look at it is a term of endearment.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, we all have our friends where we get a little,
Hmm.
I won't even say racist because it's never like to bring them down. It's like,
No, it's more like just to push the envelope.
exactly. Because
Hmm.
it's like, okay, so how me and you bonded? Whenever I would be around you and your friends, I'd be like, what the hell y'all over here jaw for? Like,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
not to be offensive, but I
Yeah,
can relate
but
to y'all
like,
on that because that's what y'all over there doing. Y'all
but
all of Latin descent and y'all over here and I want to know
yeah,
what was so goddamn funny.
I mean, the way I looked at it, I didn't see an offense or nothing. I just started
Because it was
laughing
funny as
because like
shit.
whenever you see a Mexican,
Exactly, because
I mean, I don't know if you ever saw Mexican type, but whenever they put ha ha ha, they put ja ja ja.
that's where I got it from. 'Cause I used to wonder,
Hmm.
like, why are y'all putting that? But that's just kind of, that's what
Hmm.
y'all do.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Hmm.
but what was I gonna say too? It's not
Hmm.
even like cultural. I just feel like we all kind of dibble and dabble in things that
Hmm.
the other races may be known for, but it's
Yeah.
different when you're over here gatekeeping. But I feel like we just embrace it more. Cause I
To be
mean,
to be honest,
go ahead.
you want to know was one thing I noticed about when I was like in high school,
What's
and I feel
that?
like it still happens today. I don't know if it was the same thing when you were in high school or nothing, but like the way I saw it when I was in high school is like all the races were basically segregated by itself,
Yeah.
by itself,
Okay. Yeah.
and it wasn't like there's like policies that make us segregate or anything. It was just like we stuck around our own people, or like
Familiarity. Yeah.
except for me. When I was in high school, I'm not gonna lie, I'm mostly hanged around with Cambodians and like Asians and all that.
Okay.
But
See,
yeah.
I was like a social butterfly. I got along with everybody. Like for me, it was race as well. Like that's what we were all kind of like
Hmm.
grouped up by, but it was cliques too. Like
Hmm.
the cheerleaders, the jocks, the
Yeah.
nerds. Like
Yeah, I feel
I
it.
kind of got along with a little bit of everybody because
Hmm.
certain classes you weren't with your friends. You were with a group of other people who had their
Hmm.
own other people.
Hmm.
So that's just kind of how I got. Well, I won't say
Hmm.
around, but that's just kind of how I vibed in high school.
Hmm. Nah, when I was in high school, you just see like all the Mexicans hanging out with the Mexicans, all the blacks hanging out with the blacks, all the Asians hanging around with the Asians, all the white people hanging around with the white people, all the Indians hanging
Yeah,
around with the
and I hate to
Indians.
say
And the
it's
only
kind
thing
of
you
like that
saw
at
from the
work
Asians
too.
is like, hmm and the only thing you saw from the Asians was like my big Mexican ass over there hanging out and chilling with them.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'll just be chilling with them. I mean, I found them cool. Like my best friend is Cambodian,
See, okay. My best friend's
and like
Mexican.
don't get, and like yeah, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. It's not like I'm saying like I prefer their culture over my culture. It's more like I don't know. I felt like I was more accepted by them than my own culture. If that made sense.
No, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Hmm.
And two, I mean, it could just be a personality thing. You really get
Yeah.
along with these people. Like, there's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with that.
Hmm.
So I have a question.
What?
Well, I can answer it too, but like, what do you think needs to be like fixed in our cultures? I'll go first.
My
I feel
culture.
like black people are somewhat of crabs in a barrel. Like when one is doing really good, I feel like another person might bring them down. It could be out of like spite, it could be out of
Hmm.
like jealousy. I feel like as black people, we don't come together enough. We do it when it's beneficial, we do it when we need to, but it needs to be like all the time. That's what I
Hmm.
kind of feel like other cultures have that we don't. Well, not even cultures, race. Like,
Uh,
we all kind of stick together. Black people, we be crumbling like cookies sometimes.
I'll say that's the same thing for Mexicans, but on a different scale.
How so?
Okay, for instance, I feel like well, I would like to piggyback on your culture. I feel like um, I do feel like that's the big issue on your guys' culture. I feel like you guys don't kind of support each other enough. Don't get me
Hmm.
wrong. When it comes to like all the big issues, I feel like you guys are there for each other.
Yeah, I mean, we got the Black Lives Matter down, but hey.
Yeah, yeah. But like what I'm saying. Okay, like for instance, look. I don't know how you guys kind of grew up in or how you grew up as a kid, but like I remember in my house it's about like at least 8 of us inside the house.
God damn. Yeah.
And then like it's not until like we can help out one of our own to get back in to get like their own spot and then like have their own situation and everything until it's like a process that we do.
Okay, I
Yeah.
think I can kind of understand but
Cuz
most
I
of
feel
the
like
Mexican households
mhm,
that I know are typically larger.
mhm.
Hmm.
And I feel
At least
like
that's from my.
yeah, and I feel like you guys are kind of more separated in like in the family terms and sense.
Yeah, most black parents kick their asses out at 18. That's,
Yeah,
I've been
I
threatened,
mean,
but yeah.
I kind of see that as like to be honest, when I was a kid, I thought my dad would do that until I found out like my dad wouldn't do that shit to me
Of course not. Yeah.
because like I mean, apparently to my dad it was like no, like I'd rather have you under my own roof, making sure that you're safe and you're fed, than you out there by yourself and like and not knowing if I'm gonna be all right or not. So yeah,
Yeah, I want to say
I
like
mean, I feel.
in my culture, it's like
Mhm.
they kind of want to push us to see how far we'll get. Like, don't
Mhm.
get me wrong, they won't push us off completely and watch us fall, but it's like
Mhm.
they're definitely gonna make it uncomfortable so that you can decide.
Mhm.
Like they're gonna try to make it seem like it was your idea to leave, but they're
Yeah.
definitely helping you want to leave a little bit faster.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
which
I
is
mean.
smart, I guess, parenting 101, but I don't think I would do that.
I mean. Yeah. But that's the way I feel like you guys aren't really as supportive as you guys are or should be.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say about like my culture in a different type of scale, I mean more like, for instance, say we trying to break like generational curses. Like for instance, most Mexican people, when you see them go to work, what do you think? Where you see them work at? Construction, gardening.
Yeah.
Don't get me
Yep.
wrong; those are
They at
great
Home Depot.
trades. Those are amazing trades.
They are hard
All right.
workers.
Yeah, but there's some, but like there's some Mexicans that are like, I want to own my own business one day, right? And they tell their
Mm-hmm.
families about it. Most families immediately shoot that down
Damn.
immediately. I feel like
Why
that's
though?
just
Like,
like,
do you think it's for like do they bring it down to offer something that's more realistic, or do they just do
yeah,
it just to be a hater?
I feel like it's kind of both. I feel like they're
Okay.
just hating and they can't really see your dream,
Damn. Okay.
right? And for instance, there's this one Mexican saying that's like the worst enemy of a Mexican is another Mexican,
Ooh.
right?
Okay.
Because I ain't gonna lie, my culture, like the bad part of my culture is that we're very negative people. We're very negative when it comes to like one of us wanting our own business or like pursue our own dreams and all that. We're very negative. We're like, no, just be quiet. You're just gonna be working in construction, just how my dad would, or like how like how your dad was, or how your uncle is, or things like
Mm-hmm.
that. But yeah.
Well, I feel like realistically, I mean, it's up to us to make our own dream happen. But I will say,
Mhm.
at least in early adolescence, you kind of want to be a little bit more supportive because you know how like
Mhm.
when we were like in preschool, they would say, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" We threw out bullshit answers. Oh, I want to
Yeah.
be a nurse, or I want to be a doctor, or I want
A
to be an
fireman.
actress.
I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to be a football player. Things like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like at that age, and then
Mhm.
two, of course, they're not gonna knock you down at that age, but that's what
Mhm.
you're just expected to say at that. But when I was in high school and it came to like looking at colleges and stuff, I truly wanted to be a journalist. Like I remember looking it up. I said, "This is what I want to be," and I
Mhm.
remember telling my mom and my dad, and they were like, "Why don't you do something in the medical field?" Or like, "Why don't you do something else?" Or so
Yeah.
they didn't necessarily bring me down, but I guess they
Mhm.
also made it seem like that's an unrealistic job. You should aim for
I
something
mean,
that you can
the
actually
thing
get.
the thing is that's not a unrealistic job. That's like pretty decent job.
I wish I listened. I really, truly wish I just said forget it and did it. But I mean,
Mhm.
we all have our, I won't say it's a doubt, because I mean, I can always go back to doing it or I could do it my
Yeah.
own way.
I mean,
So,
it. For instance, I have a cousin, right?
mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a journalist now. It
He's
took him.
single?
No, he's not.
Damn. All right. Go
It
ahead.
took it took him basically 10 years to get that degree, but not really. But it's because at first he was going in there, going to school for medical field, but then he switched his mind and wanted to be a journalist.
See? Yep.
And it took him longer than it should. But like, don't get me wrong, I'm still proud of him. I'm glad he's doing what he wants to do.
Yeah, because he's doing something that he actually
Hmm.
wants to do. Like,
Yeah,
hello.
yeah.
Because
I
here I
mean,
am with two medical licenses
mhm,
working in a job that doesn't even relate to it.
mhm. I'm not gonna lie. I was watching when he told me he wanted to be a journalist. At that time, I was watching this one TV series where like there was this crime reporter and all that, and I'm thinking in my mind, I'm like, damn, he's gonna be a crime reporter, right?
I mean, the options are endless. You could do
Yeah.
anything.
But like now, well, he's a journalist for like for like a veterinarian spot. So like he'll type up like little articles and all that, or like information about dogs and things like that.
Okay,
So
that's
yeah,
cute.
Yeah, it's cute, but like I just think it's like ironic. Like I just think I didn't know how like how large that like trade is. I guess you kind of say, or that job skill is.
Yeah, I mean, you could pretty much
Hmm.
write for anything. I
Hmm.
mean, people still read these days, so hey.
Yeah, yeah. All right, but back to the topic of what we think there needs to be fixed in our culture, and I feel like I should probably bring this up, especially on your podcast. Is I'm not gonna lie, Mexicans are really racist, like old school Mexicans,
What do you mean?
and I
Old
feel
school? The ones that remind you of those little like homie dolls in the vending machine?
no
What's that
Mexicans.
one?
I
What's
said
what you
Mexicans
on?
are really racist.
Oh, oh, yeah. Can I
Go
tell you a fond memory that I have? And I don't even know if it's racist or if I was just
go
being
for it.
sexualized. Okay.
Go for it.
So when I lived in Tracy, I would walk over this like ledge to go home. Like, well, not even ledge, it's like a bridge kind of. Like cars were going past in opposite directions. So to drive, my house was like 3 minutes away. But to walk, it was like a 30-minute walk. So
Mhm.
I would walk over that bridge and I would get catcalled. Like you see a backpack with me, and they were all Mexican.
Yeah, I mean,
So I mean, is that just them being old dirty Mexicans, or is that just like because that's not racist?
okay.
Obviously, they
I
like what they
no no.
see,
I don't.
but
I feel
ew,
like it's just like an older guy type thing. I don't even think that's like a race thing.
that's nasty. Okay,
Yes,
but
which
that's something
is
that I always remember, and I hate to say it.
hmm
That's probably one of the stereotypes I grew up with because it's
yeah,
like, ew, you old dirty bastard, you
yeah,
know?
yeah. No,
So
but
okay,
like for instance, I remember one time, right? I'm walking home with my friend Tyreek, right? And I'm in
Tariq's
middle
not
school.
black. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Is he?
yeah, he is.
Woohoo! Okay, got called
And
it.
then I'm walking home with my friend Tyreek, and we were in middle school. Now he didn't live that far away from me, but like we'll walk like we'll live like around the corner from each other.
Okay.
All right, so like I kind of figured I had to walk home from school that day, and Tyreek almost always walked home from school. I kind of figured, well, since we live close to each other, let's just walk home together, right?
Okay, besties.
So we walked home to each other, and I guess my dad saw me walking with him,
Oof.
and when I got to my house, my dad like smacked the shit out of me for walking home with him.
For having a black friend?
Yep,
Wow.
he
I
said
mean,
like,
I remember you told me your dad was racist, but I didn't think it was like that.
no, yeah,
Gee.
yeah, like that.
How dare you like black women? How dare you?
Basically, that's how kind of put it to me too.
Oh, jeez.
Hmm. And I feel like that's like not like new type of Mexican mentality, but that's like an older type Mexican mentality. Which don't get me wrong, I feel like eventually it's gonna get over with within time. But I still
Yeah,
feel like that's like a big issue in my culture that we're not as accepting of
excuse me.
other races
Excuse me.
as we should be.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
That too. Like I remember I dated this one guy in high
Hmm.
school, but he was mixed. His mom was Mexican and
Hmm.
his dad was black.
Yeah.
And I remember when a guy would come around like she lightweight mean mugs me, and I'm like, you like niggas too. Like, what's the issue?
Hmm.
So I don't know, but yeah.
You know, you know what was crazy?
What?
One time I dated this one Puerto Rican girl, right? But
Okay.
she was Puerto Rican and Mexican. But her dad was Puerto Rican, his mom was Mexican. So I guess when I met him that one time, he didn't like Mexicans.
The dad.
Yeah. So he
Oh.
started like kind of like mugging the crap out of me. He didn't say nothing too out of pocket, but but like it kind of did rub me the wrong way.
Yeah, because it's
Mhm.
like you want to be liked by parents, obviously, but
Yeah, yeah. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. That's like an uncomfortable situation.
it is.
Hmm. But yeah.
So let me think what can be fixed in my culture besides us just being crabs in a barrel. I
Hmm.
think that we should just, I don't know, I feel like as black people, we are accepting, but we're very
Hmm.
judgmental. Like, but I feel like we're judgmental towards the right things because I don't want to see a white girl in like singles and bust down to the gods. I don't want to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I just feel like racism is going to always be alive and popping, but what I will say now, people are doing it in the comfort of their own homes. Because when they do
Mm-hmm.
it in public, they're getting doxxed, they're getting banned, they're getting college refusals. So I love
Mm-hmm.
that about us. I love that when somebody's racist towards us, we fuck it up for cultures,
Mm-hmm.
for their children, for their grandchildren. I love that about us at least, but
Mm-hmm.
it could always be better. But I feel like
Mm-hmm.
as time goes on, we're just gonna have to see what happens with it.
Mm-hmm.
All
Yeah.
right, Jose. So, who was your
Well,
first girlfriend and was she black?
no, she was not.
Oh, okay.
Actually, uh, my first actual girlfriend was Asian.
What?
Mm-hmm.
What grade school is this?
This was after high school.
What? That was your first girlfriend after high school?
Actual girlfriend, yeah.
Okay, I guess I was just fast. But no, I remember my first boyfriend in preschool. His name was Felipe, and he was Mexican.
Okay, I didn't know you're bringing up none of that. Like,
I mean, that was my boyfriend. I'm 30, and I remember that I had a boyfriend in preschool named Felipe. That was my man.
freak,
Shout out to you, Felipe.
nah, freaking nah. It was nah. My first girlfriend wasn't black though. She was Asian. She was cool.
Okay,
Nothing too
okay.
crazy. It just didn't end up working out.
All right, all right.
Hmm. But yeah, no, I didn't have my first girlfriend until my last relationship. Well, my first black girlfriend, my bad.
Is that the one I met?
Yeah, that's the one you met.
I wanted to ask you about that. I probably shouldn't do that over this podcast, but I
Go
mean,
for it. Ask it.
what happened?
It didn't work out. She was going back to school to an HBCU. I'm not gonna say which one,
Okay, cool. Oh,
right?
okay.
Right.
Aw.
But like it was across the country, so
Oh, long distance.
we
That's
tried
the
it for about
worst.
3 months. It just didn't work out.
Hey, you listened
Cause
to my first podcast, right? We talked about this, the long distance relationships.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's possible, I feel, but I mean, it's different when you see that person and then they
yeah,
leave. But, aw,
yeah,
I
uh,
hate that for you.
yeah. No, but don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like it. She was like a terrible person or anything like that.
No, no, she
But
seemed
like,
really nice and
yeah,
really
she was.
likable.
Yeah, she was really nice. She was pretty cool. I mean, to be honest, she was probably the first uh, girlfriend or my first
Your
girlfriend I
first
had
real relationship.
that didn't
Oh,
really show anything that toxic to me or like did
I
anything
love
toxic to
that
me.
because we sometimes ain't shit. I can admit
It's-
that. But did you
yeah.
agree?
Uh, no, I'm talking like no.
Okay, I
Just
was like, hold
remembering.
on, but
I'm just remembering something else right now.
okay.
But yeah,
Um, my
but yeah,
first
but she
boyfriend was
was.
Mexican, but I feel like I love them all, but I feel like I'm going to marry Mexican or someone of Latin descent. I'll take a what's it called? I'll take a El Salvadorian too. Any race that can make
Mhm.
ceviche, really. But
I mean, I
um,
don't know if Salvadorians make ceviche, but
they have a dish that's similar. I googled it.
hmm
Um, or I might marry a black man. Who knows? I
but
don't
yeah,
know. But
but yeah, no,
ceviche and
freaking
fried chicken is where it's at.
yeah, no, freak. Don't get me wrong. It's not like I'm gonna say I kind of don't want to date. Uh,
Any race.
I only want to date a specific race or anything like that. I'm open to dating any type of race, but
Okay, go off.
my preference is usually like I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Black women, I always liked black women when I was like, especially younger.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna lie. One of my first crushes was like in middle school, and she was a black girl.
What are some of your black celebrity crushes?
Black celebrity crushes.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna lie. Younger Viola Davis.
Sorry.
Like Viola Davis, when she was younger, she looked fine. She looked
Okay, younger. Okay.
yeah,
Jose, you see.
younger Viola Davis. I also
I expected like Megan the Stallion, Chloe Bailey. What? You went with Viola Davis?
yeah,
No, I
Keisha.
mean shout out to her. Shout out to her. She's a very beautiful woman. I
Well,
just
yeah,
okay. So
yeah.
so
Keisha Cole was
okay,
also very
okay.
beautiful to me. Don't get me wrong. Like Alicia Keys when she first started out. She was very,
Okay.
very beautiful to me. Uh,
Okay, with the
or
braids and the
they still
piano.
are. They still are.
Yes.
But like don't get don't get me wrong. I like the early 2000s generation better than the generation now. It makes
Yeah,
sense.
they're all BBL'd up right now. It's
And
kind of
yeah.
hard to look at. Um,
Well, no, it's
that's
not.
interesting. You
It's
say
not
that
bad,
because
but like, I mean, you asked me for my childhood, like
well, no, because I would
celebrity, so
kind of
that's
want to
what I
get
put up.
a visual of what type of black woman you like, but I guess I should just ask you like, what do you like? Okay, so what are the qualities, physical and
Well,
personality wise, that you like about black women? Shout
what
out
I
to
like
like,
about black women specifically,
yes, physically too, please.
uh, well, I'm not gonna. Well, I'm gonna say this, but like, it's more for like, this is how I like my women in general,
Go
right?
ahead. Mm-hmm.
It's more like I feel like with I like a woman. Don't get me wrong. I like a woman who
Spit
can
it
cook.
out, Jose. Stop being scared. Go ahead.
I like a woman who can cook. I like
Okay.
a I like a woman who who knows like how she could use her resources and all that.
Okay.
I
Okay.
like a and then I like a woman just to be like real feminine, if that makes sense.
You said feminine?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I can respect that.
And
Okay.
don't get me and to be honest, because like I don't kind of don't like a woman being like too masculine or trying to like to compete with me or anything like that.
Okay. So you don't like the, what's the call I'm looking for? Hood rats, right?
Kind of like that, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I don't like
All
none of
right.
that. I'm more like I like a woman that like will give me peace of mind. Cause I ain't gonna
Gotcha.
lie, I don't want to come home. Say if I were to get with if I were to get with somebody right now, I don't want to come home and like after like a long day, I don't want to come home and have to deal with more and more and more problems. I want her to be
Okay.
like my peace of mind.
Triggered. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm. If that were to make sense.
No, it does. I mean, I get it. Nobody wants to come home and argue. I get that. But
Yeah,
in all
and
relationships, problems do happen. And I feel like communication is big in that, at least.
hmm
But, you know,
yeah, and the one thing I would give, I would actually give props to my ex is like I would come home from work. Well, it's not like we live with each other or nothing, right? But
mm-hmm.
like I would get to my house from work all tired up and like she would actually like give me my time and my space to like kind of relax and like be to myself.
Okay. Yeah. I can see how
And
that's needed.
I ain't gonna lie, with most Latinas, they don't give you that shit.
They don't.
They don't. They
I thought
don't.
it was a woman thing. Okay.
No, they don't give you that shit. Well, to be
What,
fair,
like, do you
I
think that
don't.
they're clingy or what?
No, yeah, they're very Latina women are very clean. Yes, I would say that.
Okay.
I would say that. But yeah, but
I can see that. But I mean,
but
I
yeah,
think
no, but I
if a
wouldn't say it's
woman
like
likes you enough, she's gonna be clingy.
actually I
It's
wouldn't say it's clingy. I just say like she wants a lot of attention.
oh, okay.
She wants
Yeah,
like a lot of attention. Yeah.
in a way that can't be clingy too. But I see what you're
Hmm.
saying. Okay, okay.
Like I ain't gonna lie, with most Latinas I dated, one of the biggest problems is like I was working too much, but then they didn't have an issue when I would take them out.
Yeah, that's usually how it works.
I'm like I'm like, okay, you could either have me all the time or we could go out sometimes.
When you have the time.
Yeah, when I have the time.
I think I personally would choose the time together over an expensive dinner, but that's just because I stay hungry. But you're
This girl.
okay.
Hmm.
Okay, so for the lady listeners, because you know I do have some lady listeners out there,
Hmm.
what type of advice would you give them for dating interracial? Like, okay, say I'm sure I have
A
a
Mexican
lot of
man,
black. Hmm.
like a Mexican man.
Yeah, Mexican men.
Uh, I would say be patient with us,
Damn, I'm out. Gotcha. Uh huh.
and
Do you have to cook?
It's recommended. Yeah,
Damn.
it
All
would
right,
be
that's
like
another
very.
one.
I would
All right.
recommend that. Yes,
Sorry,
yes. It would.
Mexicans, I'm out.
Well, I'm not gonna. Okay, don't get me wrong. If I meet a woman that I like and she doesn't know how to cook, it's not the deal breaker, right?
Okay, okay. I
But
might be that.
like, okay, when I say like I like a woman who can cook, I do like a woman who can cook. But like, think about it like this: you're a man, right?
No.
You, oh no no think no, just imagine yourself as a man,
Okay.
right? Imagine yourself as a
Okay.
man. Imagine yourself as a man, right?
Okay.
You go to work. Say you have like a long day at work. Say you work like 12 hours, right?
Mhm.
You work a 12-hour day. You come home and your wife cooked for you. What's the thing that and like your wife cooked for you and she gave you and she had like your clothes ready for you to relax and like a beer in the fridge for you, right? What are you gonna think about that? Like,
That's
what's
wifey. That's marriage material right there. Yeah.
the way I'm gonna think about it is like not just that. I'm just thinking about, damn, she thought about me,
Oh, okay. That's it. I
right?
didn't know you guys thought about shit like that.
No,
Okay.
yeah, we think about like all guys do that. I'm not saying it's a Mexican thing, but like all guys think about that. Like, I'm pretty sure you ask any black guy or any Asian guy or any white guy that like what would you think if like this were to happen to you in the exact same scenario? You're gonna be like, damn, she thought about me.
Okay.
That's
Well, I
what
mean,
we
I know
think
men
about.
want to be thought about and cared about. I know
Yeah.
that part. But what I'm trying to say is, as far as like, because me, I feel like those are just things that a woman would do just because we know you guys like to eat. We want you
Hmm.
to be happy. Like to
Hmm.
me, that would be like just a nice gesture.
Hmm.
But it's the more obvious one. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm. Yeah. But don't get right. That's like one way I would look at it. I'm like, damn, you think about me. But like, even if she can cook, if she were like make an attempt to cook and still give it to me, and even if it ain't that good, I'll still eat it.
Okay. I mean, it
Right?
would suck if the food did
Yeah,
was
it's still
gross,
food.
but okay.
Even ain't if it ain't that good, I'll still eat it. And it's like, but like it's still like the thought that you like, damn, you actually thought about me. You put in some time, you put in some effort, just to like feed me. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, that's the way I would look at it.
Okay, I like that. So, like I said in the beginning of my podcast, you
Mm.
mentioned that you were 24 years old
Yeah.
and you're single.
Yes.
You hear that, ladies? All right. So, Jose Cuervo, thank you for being one of my guests today. I really appreciate it.
All right. No problem.
So, we're going to end this podcast with something that you suggested, and that is what's happening in Oakland. It's crazy out here, ain't it?
Yeah, it's freaking ridiculous.
Like
It's
so
like,
many restaurants are getting closed down because of carjackings and
mm-hmm.
robberies. Like
Yep.
we
Small
lost out
businesses
on our
are forced to
Denny's.
close.
The Denny's is gone. The
Yep.
late night spot where we oh my god, we can't
I
eat
mean,
there
I
anymore.
to be honest, I never went to that one
It
because
was a
of the
very bad
robbery.
area.
What happened?
So it was a very bad area, but it was just
Yeah.
so convenient by our job, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get that, but I always went to the one in Marina
Yeah,
on
I mean
St.
I get
Andrew.
that.
Hmm.
Like I would
But
order
yeah,
something on my break and then go get it and it would be done by the time I got there. So it's like that
yeah,
was really detrimental. The In and Out, they're gonna close soon. They're about to go.
yeah. Like sometime in March, right?
I don't know, but I feel like I should go now just because I haven't had it in so long. Cause like
Yeah.
the other one, oh, we have one in Alameda, Almerda, but
Hmm.
I don't know. That another place that's convenient. The Walmart's been gone. That's been abandoned
Yeah,
since
yeah.
years.
But
But
and don't
that's
get me
that
wrong,
whole area.
I don't
Hmm?
blame none of these businesses for leaving because I get it. Like you're supposed to make profit, and like you're losing money because of all these robberies and all these
Yeah.
carjackings and all that, and nobody wants to go near your no, near your business. So don't get me wrong, I 100% get it. Uh, I just feel like the city of Oakland should do a better job of like protecting its like and its citizens and all that. I
The
feel like,
citizens' business, but
hmm,
Oakland is definitely going through gentrification. West Oakland is like the highlight of that right now. But
yeah. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. don't get me wrong. I feel like I'm not gonna lie. I feel like there should probably be more police presence. I'm glad like the governor started sending like highway patrol officers over here and all that.
Yeah.
But like at least finally he did something good. Because like this
Yeah,
shit
I mean,
this shit's
there's
been
always.
happening. This shit started happening like way like a few years ago. But like it was getting like really ridiculous of like all the carjackings and all that, all the blippings and all that.
Yeah, the blipping is really was like so horrible. Like, I
Hmm.
remember we literally went out to eat. You know that Diner Bear Cafe
Yeah,
over there in the Hagenberger area,
yeah.
and like literally, I had a gym bag in there, a gym bag with
Hmm.
dirty gym clothes, and we were going to go out to eat right after we left Planet Fitness,
Hmm.
and somebody literally broke in, grabbed that. They had time to look through it. They, I mean, thank you, but they not
Hmm.
only broke the back window, they let me keep my bag of weed, but they took the bag of dirty clothes. And I'm like, you, what? Like, what did you do this for? What?
At
What
least
was wrong?
the way I would look at it, at least I kept my weed.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I was happy about that, but it's like you clearly saw that all I had in there was some clothes. Like, there was
Yeah,
nothing of value in there.
yeah.
But you broke a window that has to be replaced. You
Hmm.
inconvenienced somebody. Like, it's just
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
can't have nothing. But
Well,
I hate to say it. I love the Bay Area. I love Oakland. I love it. I can't leave. I want to one day, but
uh,
not right now. It's just
don't get me wrong. I do want to leave one day, but I just don't know when exactly.
yeah. But it's home. It's
Mhm.
expensive. It's
Freak.
California.
Yeah,
One
freaking.
of those things. Well, any
Oh,
last words go ahead?
well, I was about to tell you this one story. Like I remember when, okay, when I had told you early in the podcast how I kind of grew up in Modesto with my dad. Right on the
Yes.
weekends, I would come here to Oakland with my mom because my mom lived over here. She was, and she would always, and I remember like back when she lived over here, there was like all the gangs around, and like predominantly like there was like a lot of norteños and all that, right?
Okay.
I remember that specifically, right? And I remember it was bad back then, but it wasn't that bad how it is now. Like you get your car stolen and all that, but like it wasn't like how everybody's getting robbed or like at least back in the day, the gang members had respect enough to like not rob like young kids or older women
True.
or older men.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's like I feel like it's like the wild wild west, like anything
Anybody
else.
could get it.
Mm. And yeah, there's like a big difference from back then and now.
Yeah, like I feel like when I was younger, I didn't really like you're always supposed to be aware of your surroundings, but because I was younger in school, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't necessarily feel like a target. So getting on BART wasn't really a second option.
Hmm.
Hanging out with my friends, I wasn't really thinking about, oh, I shouldn't be out too late. Because,
Yeah,
it's so much that goes on in the streets. Like, there are a lot of things that happen where you could literally just be at the wrong place in the wrong time and
yeah.
something happens to you. So back then, yeah, kids and old folks, we were off limits. Now, shit.
Anybody goes. And you know
Exactly.
what's crazy?
What?
I want I could afford a new car right now, right? But I don't want to get it because I'm afraid to get it's gonna get blipped within like the first month of me
You like
getting.
you can't have anything nice out here. It's almost
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
sad. Like,
yeah. It's kind of sad that you have to have that mentality. Like the car I have right now, no, it hasn't been blipped, and I'm pretty sure it won't get blipped because ain't nobody gonna want to rob my car, my old ass car, and like be doing sideshows with that shit.
yeah, like my car is real basic. Like I don't even like
Yeah.
to tell people what the type of car I have because I'm like it's not the best car. And like you said, I could easily get another one if I wanted to stunt. But it's like I don't want to stunt and then be scared that I'm gonna get robbed or because of my car now a target. That's ghetto. No thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that concludes this episode. Jose
Okay.
Cuervo, I thank you. I mean, you've been asking to be on for a while. We finally made it happen.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you for being a guest. I'm gonna try to get some more episodes out soon, but This one
Uh,
I was really excited about. I told a few
uh,
people at work, so I know they're gonna be excited to hear this one.
I know. Oh, I know. Jasmine gonna be talking shit though.
You know what? She was actually listening in the first half an hour, so yeah,
Oh,
she's very excited. She's very
okay.
excited.
And well, yeah. Next time we should all do one.
Yes, I'm thinking I'm gonna start doing video ones, so that should be
Okay.
something to look out for. You know.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. So
All right.
again, I'm sure this won't be the last time, but we'll talk again.
All right then. Well, have a
Bye,
good
Jose
one. Thank you for
Cuervo.
having me.
Oh yeah, so you gotta choose our ending song. That's what all
Okay.
my guests get to do. You get to pick a song.
All right. Any song I want or
Any song. I mean, come on now. Not no horn music, please, but something.
not no horn music.
Not no horn music.
Uh, let's see. Well, in honor of the Super Bowl
Oh
and
God.
Usher and Alicia, just put my boo. How about that?
I love it. That's the one. My
Yeah.
boo.
All right.